Hello everybody, welcome back to North Dakota Car Guy, and in today's episode of Project Dream, I'm going to be showing you guys how to install a full front suspension kit. This is a light angle kit with some BC Racing Coilovers. Let's get straight to it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and explain everything that I've got here. If you want to go ahead and skip this part, I'm going to have timestamps in the description of the video of certain key parts of like putting the coilover in, all the specific parts that you guys want to know how to put in. So those will be in the description below for those who want to get the full scope of what we're doing here. So let's start with the BC Racing Coilovers. This is a very entry-level coilover for performance drifting. These are the BR series, so they're pretty much the good starting point for coilovers. We've got our camber adjustment plate on here. We have our dampening control. We've got somewhat of a spring rate control right here. We can kind of set a preload to, preload setting for our spring, and then a height adjustment for our spring. These are going to cost you around $1,000 depending on where you get them, but these are very good quality parts. Do not cheap out on things like coilovers. Coilovers and brakes are going to be the main points you do not really want to cheap out. Depending on your RX7, they will be different. On my car, I have the GTU, which has the 2 bolt holes in. This is going to match up. There's another kind where they've got a twist-on style. I'm not exactly sure, but if you can, go ahead and pick up some knuckles that are designed to have this in. It just makes it easier for camber control and all that good stuff. Next up, we've got the Villains Modified Knuckles. These were sent in some guys down south. They're called Villains. I'll have a link down below. These are made actually really well. I'm really impressed with the good quality and the paint. What they do is basically you take this in and they modify your steering knuckle. So instead of the knuckle originally being like farther out to about here, where your tie rod bolts up, they bring it in closer and then closer to the car, so they don't really mess up any of the steering like anatomy or the steering like mathematics of it. I don't know. So I went ahead and got, these are my knuckles actually. They prefer that you bring in your own knuckles. They can sometimes, if people just give them, they say keep them. You know, they can sell them. It will cost you a little bit more though. But these are my original knuckles that we actually took out at the beginning of this series. So that is pretty sweet. Included with the kit is this caster adjustable plate. Now, if you guys are not really sure what all the camber, toe, caster, I suggest you go watch a video about it, because this video will run too long if I go in and explain it. But this guy here will adjust the caster of our knuckle. They've designed this so we're actually going to push the bottom of the knuckle out, so we're going to get a lot of camber and a lot of offset in the front, so it's going to look more like a drift setup. You don't actually have to run this. This is more of an optional thing if you really want to. I am going to run it just because I want that little bit more tuning ability, but you can install this either upright this way. This is the left side of the car, or driver's side for me, and you can flip this either way and it changes the caster. The caster has a really big play in self-steering. So if you're kind of a new guy, you're going to want to have more, I believe, forward caster. So that's the way we are going to install this. And with the Villains kit, they also include these modified tie rods. Now I am going to go ahead and order some more of these, just because I know these are going to go out. It's like the #1 thing in drift cars that tend to go out just because of the steering component. You know, you're going to hit it, so I'm going to go ahead and order more of these. But I think these are extended ones. The stock ones actually I don't think reach, or they're too far in. Not 100% sure, but they do include this with the Villains kit with the knuckles and everything. So it's a really good package. really great, and I love it. And then these bolts here, these will go with the caster plate, or the caster alignment deal. Here we have our control arms here. Now this is not all RX7s have these control arms. I was lucky enough that I got a GTU which did have these. They've got these holes in here to kind of make them lighter, and they've got a lot of space in here for wheels. There is a model of the RX7 out there, I think it's more of a base model, where this is a lot more bulky and it's just kind of designed differently. And I believe so a lot of times if you guys have not these types of control arms, you'll have to maybe look at an aftermarket control arm and whatnot, or have to modify it. So that's what I've told been on the community. These are just painted with polyurethane bushings. I did polyurethane because that was the only thing really available. And you don't really want to go solid with something like this anyway. So this is just a pre-made kit that we're going to go ahead and throw in, because as we run the car harder, things are going to get hotter, including our brakes. Brakes are really important when you're doing extreme stuff, and like somebody spins out in front of you, you want to stop, and that's like the worst time. You want one of your old brake lines to crack and burst, and then go in hitting them, and then you wreck your car and you wreck their car, and nobody likes doing that. We're going to go ahead and install these braided lines. And I do have these for the back too. And then here we have our ball joint. I've been told where's this coming from? I've been told you can actually use these in another one, from like an RX3 or something. You can talk to Villains. They've got everything figured out. I'm gonna run with this just because it's what I got now. I'm gonna run the car like this. But basically what it does is this distance from this hole in the front to here, it's actually shorter, so you can kind of get a little bit more. You can have less negative camber if you so choose. But I'm thinking just to get this car on the ground and moving, I'm going to go ahead and use this. And then maybe in the future we'll go ahead and get a different one. Alright, so with everything run down, we'll go ahead, double check all our bolts and stuff, and we'll just throw this in the car, man. Simple as that. So once you've got everything uninstalled in your car, and if you guys want to see that video, I'll have that tabbed up over here. And once all your old rusty stuff is all out, we're going to go ahead and take this tab out and just go ahead and change to our other line. Wheels is powered, or is yeah, got power now. It's all connected. Alright, sweet. Sweet, that was actually like not too bad. These lines are newer. And I believe what it is, so inside of this, there's like a wire. Alright, so with our steel braided line in, we'll go ahead and put our control arm in. Is I'm going to put some anti-seize on this surface. Okay. And I'll put some blue thread locker on the other nut here. We'll just get this. It's kind of in there. Walk around there. Especially anti-seize on this. I mean, if you saw in the first video, we had quite the hassle getting this guy off. There you go. Wow, that. Yeah, that's gonna. That's gonna stick out pretty far, man. Alright, we're going to go ahead. Now this is your camber adjustment here. We want to make sure that this is set up the right way. So just like this, we'll go ahead, slide it through the top. Alright, so with those tops on, now we may have to got a tune up here. So this is our actual tool for doing this. I would not suggest doing this without it. Go ahead. So I'm going to take this off all the way, and then we'll go ahead and add some anti-seize. Wow, this sucker goes pretty far. Alright, we got our cut piece here. It's going to help with any rust, because when you're putting this up and down, it's going to chip the paint away slowly over time. So this is one of those things that'll make your coilover last a long time. So for this, I'm not going to put blue thread locker on it because this is going to come out multiple times before we're done. Okay, there we go. Yes, boy! Wow, I mean, it looks like we've got clearance up until our actual inner. I mean, we're not going to get this much angle. It'll probably be more like just about here. I might have to add a bump stop or something just to keep it from this. Jeez. That's so cool. Wrong way. Sure, yeah, see, I was just thinking, I hope I'm turning this the right way.